My friend is going to join me for a call in a little bit, so this video might be short. However, as someone who grew up with Nickelodeon and SpongeBob, I have a lot of questions about this. So there's this Instagram post, and I'm pretty disturbed by it. I'm I'm somebody who's not real used to adult humor stuff. And that's okay because not everyone is. I'm 23, by the way, so I'm younger, but I call me a Karen. I don't really like using that word because it's an insult to people named Karen, but like okay, speaking of Karen, I was gonna talk about SpongeBob a lot in this video, and that's a good character named Karen, so but anyways, no, there's no like I'm not trying to get all I'm call me whatever you want. I might be overreacting a little, but at the same time, I know for a fact Nickelodeon is a company full of pedophiles, and I don't know if this video is going to get like flagged or something. I should put warnings on this because this I someone has to speak up about this. I just go in with the hard P with the like Nickelodeon. I maybe I should just call them PDF files in this video just just to keep it, you know. But honestly, Nickelodeon is probably the worst company right now. Also, my friend just looked at the post that I sent her of the SpongeBob thing. I will post a link to that Instagram post in the comments section. I don't know how many comments I'm going to get because I'm not making any money off these videos. I just want people to hear me out, spread the word. Like I just want I just want people to like know what's going on right now and that we've got to put an end to this. Somebody like parents should start complaining about this kind of stuff because a lot of companies have done stuff in the past that they changed things because people complained. I heard that Disney actually listened to people when they were releasing a show with some racial stereotypes recently, and they put it on hold. They ended up releasing it in the end, but they put it on hold for so long because so many people were complaining about the racial stereotypes in it. Um the show was called Primos, but like it was it was about like family, and it was pretty racially stereotyped, but like I think they kind of fixed a few of the stuff before they released it. So Disney actually listened to fans. I mean, they shouldn't have released it at all, but when they did, a lot of people seemed to be chill about it. So also, I'm not the race that they were targeting either, so I can't really say anything about that show. I just know it looked pretty bad. Um I have a friend who's actually part Hispanic, and she said that she would absolutely hate that show. So and yeah, that's the race that they were kind of targeting, but like but she said that she absolutely hated the stereotype, so you could take her word for it. But anyways, I'm here to talk about Nickelodeon and what they're doing right now with SpongeBob. Nickelodeon does not listen to fans. Nickelodeon has never listened to fans. They have never listened to parents complain about anything. A lot of their stuff had way more fetishy and perverted stuff than um Disney did. If you compare, look, okay, look, if you compare an episode of Victorious or iCarly to an episode of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, which, by the way, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Hannah Montana, those were Disney. Those were actually good Disney shows. Good Luck Charlie, Austin and Ally, that was another good one. Ant Farm. What else? There was Bear in the Big Blue House. If you compare a Disney Channel show like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody or Austin and Ally, Bear in the Big Blue House, whatever, to an episode of iCarly or Victorious, the difference is crazy. Like, I actually feel like I'm watching a kid show when I'm watching a Disney Channel sitcom made for preteens and like younger kids, like older kids, like maybe like 8-year-olds. That's roughly around the audience that watches the Disney Channel, and at least when I was a kid. I don't really know if Disney Channel technically even exists anymore, but like Nickelodeon, on the other hand, what the hell was going on with Dan Schneider? Honestly, he was so messed up, and he wasn't the only one. It wasn't just him. In fact, even an actor spoke out on one of his shows who said it wasn't just him. It was, you had a whole team of people who approved of that junk being put into a show aimed at kids. And I totally understand it, because like it's not just the fact that they had a very perverted director, but the fact that there was also other people who allowed this to get greenlit and allowed for them to say that stuff, like approved of it, like, yeah, this can go on TV for kids, yeah. And like some of the shows, like some of the stuff that was in iCarly, Victorious, The Amanda Show, some of that stuff was so messed up. I can't, like, I don't even, like, I saw videos of some of that stuff that Ariana Grande had to do. And I know a lot of people hate on Ariana Grande, and right now we're a lot of people have been talking about how skinny she's gotten and everything while filming Wicked. Give the woman a break, you know. If only we actually knew what went down at Nickelodeon. I'm almost 100% sure that Dan Schneider did something disgusting to her that I don't even want to talk about in this video, because some of this stuff can be too triggering for people. I'm just assuming that he probably did some sexual stuff that probably traumatized her, and plus she's had, you know, she being in the spotlight all the time, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. And plus filming Wicked, her being on a vegan diet, that, and like hormones can affect what, like stuff that, and like if you're not eating a lot and everything, or eating a light foods like that, it's not going to be, you know, you're not going to end up like, and plus she's never had kids, and I don't think she'll be able to either, unfortunately. I don't really know what her health is like, but I just hope she's doing okay. Plus she just lost her nonna, her nonna, like that's what Italian people call their grandma. She just lost her, so like I feel really bad for her in that, and I don't think that we should be all angry at Ariana over stuff like that. And filming Wicked, I mean, she's been filming Wicked Part 1 and Part 2 and going to all these events and everything and performing. So like, of course she's gonna be moving around and stuff. So like, give her a break. But the whole traumatized by Nickelodeon thing, I I have a feeling I know what happened at Nickelodeon. There is stuff that only God knows what was going down at that horrible studio. Like, I'm not an expert, but I can only imagine what was happening to those girls on those shows by Dan Schneider. And it wasn't just him, but he was a huge problem at that channel, and his shows were disgusting. Like I said, compare an episode of Victorious to an episode of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and it's like it it's like comparing an episode of it's like comparing an episode of Scaredy Squirrel to an episode of regular show. I mean, Scaredy Squirrel, I don't know if you've heard of it. I mentioned that because I'm gonna talk about that in another video. But like, it's like it's more like, I didn't want to say Max and Ruby because that's more preschool like, but I mean, it's still for kids. So like, comparing Sweet Life of Zack and Cody to Victorious is like comparing Max and Ruby to regular show, and it's, I can't even like it's crazy how perverted and messed up Nickelodeon was compared to the Disney Channel as far as the sitcoms that were like made for like preteens. Some people say they're teen sitcoms, but like honestly, most teens would cringe at those shows. Like I when I was a teenager, I thought those were the cringiest shows ever. I didn't really care if they were Nickelodeon or Disney, but I kind of knew how cringy they were. But I'm glad I had a wake up call a little bit and rewatched some of the old Disney shows, and I think that Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Liv and Maddie, that's another good one I saw. Austin and Ally, Good Luck Charlie, those are cute shows. Bear in the Big Blue House is another really cute one. I absolutely love the characters in that one. That one's more like a puppet show. I guess that one was more preschool like, but like it was still kid audience. Like they knew what they were doing with the Disney Channel. They kept it family friendly. It's like I feel like some of them appealed more towards like, like older kids, but like I feel like Bear in the Big Blue House, you had the ones for the younger kids as well, and that was really nice. Whereas Nickelodeon, I think they probably thought that it was mostly a teen audience, or else they just didn't give a. I'm sorry, I don't like to swear, but they just didn't give a damn about their audience, and yeah. But aside from how perverted Dan Schneider stuff was, and I know Nickelodeon hired a lot of PDF files there because I've heard a lot of stories about that. It wasn't just Dan, it was Chris Savino, John Kricfolsky, whatever his name is, who made Ren and Stimpy. He's an awful person as well. And Ren and Stimpy is also a very perverted show. I don't know why so many people I know like it, but like it's, to me it's gross and disgusting and should have never been on a kids network. But even some earlier episodes of Rocco's Modern Life were pretty perverted as well. However, I feel like the creator of Rocco's Modern Life kind of was more aware of that and knew that the show was playing at night, so it's not like it was going to be seen by a bunch of little kids or anything. And plus I heard that he made other shows. Joe Murray made other shows besides Rocco's Modern Life. He went to Cartoon Network to make Camp Lazlo, and he went to PBS to make Let's Go Luna. He never once joined Nickelodeon again after that. So even though Rocco's Modern Life Static Cling movie, which by the way is actually kind of a good one, it was actually made by Netflix, and I feel like he didn't really trust Nickelodeon after that either, because he was working there around the same time Dan Schneider started working there. Everyone knew about the stuff that went on, so like almost everyone at least. They even had a joke about it in SpongeBob, the Dirty Dan joke. I think we all remember that "I'm Dirty Dan" joke from SpongeBob. But I am here to mostly talk about SpongeBob and why are they sexualizing SpongeBob now? SpongeBob is an anthropomorphic sea sponge who has the appearance of more of a kitchen sponge, even though he is a sea sponge. He is asexual. I don't care what people say. Yeah, you can ship him with Sandy if you want. To be honest, I'd rather you ship him with Sandy than Patrick, but like, as SpongeBob fans, we can do whatever the heck we want. but like he's still not like the picture in that Instagram post that they were using to promote the new SpongeBob movie was creepy and weird. It's why are they sexualizing him? They put like a ribbon, like a Christmas ribbon over his supposedly private part. I don't even know if sea sponges have that. But it's just it's weird. It's creepy. I the guy in the post, the guy OP, he even said that the original poster guy, he even said that it ruined his day and that he was having a good day until he saw that. Like, and he knew immediately, Nickelodeon, what the heck are you doing? Like, this, uh, somebody has got to protest about this. Honestly, I heard of this company called Nelvana that was a Canadian show company that made a lot of the shows I love. It made popular ones like Magic School Bus and Strawberry Shortcake, but it also made like smaller ones not a lot of people have heard of, like My Friend Rabbit and Scaredy Squirrel. I think they also made Max and Ruby. But like Scaredy Squirrel is a show I'm gonna talk about in the next video, and how I absolutely love it. But anyways, Nelvana, which is that Canadian show company I'm talking about, they recently shut down, and they are a really cute company in my opinion. Their shows are absolutely adorable, most of them at least, even the ones that are meant kind of for aimed at an older audience. And even if there are jokes that go out of the line sometimes, it's more family friendly than what Nickelodeon has ever had. And it's just, why did Nelvana have to shut down? Why couldn't it have been Nickelodeon instead? Honestly, if you're in Canada, please protest about this, about Nelvana shutting down, so that they can make a comeback. I don't know who you can give money to, but like if I could give money to Nelvana and make them come back, I would. I barely have enough money to feed myself. I don't even have a job. My family is kind of paying for everything right now, and I don't even have much anything family left either. So I'm when I do get a job, I plan on supporting myself anyways, just surviving, but like my point is somebody has to do something about this. I we need better kids entertainment, honestly. And plus all this shit, I hate swearing, I'm sorry, I hate it again, but like I just need to get my anger out. Um all this stuff that right now, that a lot of stuff is being made with AI now for kids, and that can have an effect on the brain and everything, with like the choppiness of AI animations. And yes, I know AI is getting better, but like at the same time, it's also kind of stealing resources and stuff. It's better to have actual animators do it instead of AI programs. And if you are going to use AI programs for any of this, use it as an outline. Use it as, hey, like oh, we could take this, like you could put it through an AI program, but then animate it all yourself and like redo it, but with your spin, and use like take ideas from the AI, use it as like an outline, like how it's supposed to be used. It's not fully supposed to be used to make movies. It can be used as help, like an outline sort of thing. Also, enough with the AI talk. Let's get back to the SpongeBob situation. The poor creator who died, he's rolling in his grave right now probably. I would be so pissed if they took one of my characters, as someone who actually planned on being a children's book author, and I don't even know if that's gonna come true or not, but I hope it will be one day. I plan on making children's comics for myself. Bunk the Skunk. That's what I was going to call my series. And as someone who plans on being, a children's entertainment, I I would be so pissed if someone did that to Bunk the Skunk, cuz Bunk the Skunk is also asexual as well, and it's just a little weird. Even if he wasn't, though, even if he wasn't, we are not okay. So let's say SpongeBob was not asexual, which he is, but like, let's say he wasn't. Us as humans are not supposed to be attracted to a sea sponge. We're not supposed to be attracted to this yellow square with a face. We're not supposed to find that attractive. And like the way SpongeBob was posed on that picture, like, what is the audience? Do they think that kids would find that funny? Because it's the way he was posed was so like sexualized, and like they had like a ribbon covering his private part, which I don't even, like I said, do sea sponges even have a private part? It's weird and creepy how they push the innuendo so much. Like, yeah, adults find that funny once in a while, but they need to tone it down and think of the kids a little bit. And it's okay to sneak a few innuendos, minor dirty jokes, like a few, like not visuals, but like a few little moments. Like there was this show called Marvin the Tap Dancing Horse, and there was this funny joke about riding a corn dog that they had in an episode, and I'm like, oh ha, 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 that's just a funny little gag that they threw in there for the parents. Like that was, and it wasn't like too creepy either. It was like they, in the episode, he ran out of brooms, like for, okay, he wanted to order corn dogs and they ordered brooms instead, and the one kid showed like how to ride a broom like a horse, and because they couldn't ride the horse in the show at the carnival, and they ended up selling the brooms, and they were so happy that they made the money, and then the horse ended up making a joke. Could you imagine teaching those kids how to ride a corn dog? And that was just a little funny little gag that they had just for the parents to laugh at. They kind of had the same thing in Cat Dog, which by the way was also Nickelodeon. And it was a Nickelodeon show that a lot of people did find really weird. But yeah, the concept of a cat and a dog sharing the same body is kind of weird, but at the same time it was much more than that. It was a good show too. But there was a subtle dirty joke in Cat Dog, and like they were looking at stars on the roof, and Cat said, "Oh, I'm trying to admire the heavenly bodies." He was talking about stars, and Dog misheard him and thought, like, misunderstood him and thought, "Oh, you can see the beach with that thing? Let me see." Haha, that's just a little minor dirty joke. He thought Cat was looking at a nude beach. That was just okay. Knowing Nickelodeon, that okay, compared to a lot of the dirty stuff that was in Nickelodeon, that nude beach joke in Cat Dog was not a problem at all. It was just a little gag thrown in there. Like just a little subtle dirty joke. There's nothing wrong with having subtle dirty jokes in kid shows like that. However, when they start having the visual stuff, like some of the Dan Schneider sitcoms actually had underage girls, real underage girls, because these were sitcoms, not cartoons, actually had young girls sucking on their feet and stuff. Like and soaking their feet in what looked like mayonnaise and that kind of stuff. And there was like white liquid, and the one girl in this one iCarly video I saw had like a bikini top on, and the other girl was fully clothed, and they were putting their feet in like tubs of like random liquids and stuff. It was weird. And they stuck their tongues through like a plastic clear pipe. It was creepy, and it's like this, and it's like, who approved of this? And I what's even worse is that I this is my experience. This is someone who also grew up with shows like iCarly, Drake and Josh Victorious. I watched those shows as well as a kid. I think iCarly and Victorious was the one I watched most, like the two shows I watched most. My mom refused to let me watch the Amanda show, and I'm grateful for that because I I'm glad she knew that one was bad. Plus, that one at the time was not as popular as like iCarly. I think she let me watch iCarly because so many other kids knew it, and she didn't want me to feel different. Like, I was already an only child who had a hard time making friends, and my mom didn't want me to feel like I was an outcast. So she let me watch some of the stuff that other kids watched, even though she knew iCarly and Victorious were inappropriate. And I'm probably I'm probably going to be a little bit more strict with my future kid because I don't want my kids to have to worry about like fitting in and stuff. I talked about this with my boyfriend James, and at first he kind of got mad at me because he thought like, oh, if you like, he thought that I would think that he's a creep because he has like certain kinks and stuff, but like we all do. And I explained to him how disgusting some of the stuff that was on the Dan Schneider shows. He didn't even realize that when he was younger because his sisters watched them. James, my boyfriend, was more of a Thomas the Tank Engine kid, and that's probably why he didn't realize how disgusting some of the stuff on Nickelodeon was. And I'll continue to speak out, and I hope that at least Dan Schneider shows can get banned. I think the only one that deserves to not be banned is Keenan and Kel. However, I wouldn't miss it if it was gone. So I think iCarly and Victorious are and the Amanda Show are like the number three, like the top three worst ones. So like get rid of those the most because like I think all of Dan's shows should be forgotten, and you can watch them pirated if you're so freaking nostalgic about them. You can watch them pirated. I used to watch them as a kid, and they make me want to puke now. I'm 23, and I could see what's wrong with them. I did not have that much of an attachment towards them. I like Ariana Grande as an actress, but like I realized I used to like her character Cat, but after rewatching the like clips and stuff from Victorious and Sam and Cat, I cringed. I can't stand her character Cat Valentine. I thought Cat when I was younger, I thought Cat was so cute, but then now that I'm older, I see how fetishized and stereotypic her character actually was. And I'm not holding anything against Ariana Grande. Like I said, I'm still a fan of Ariana Grande, and I hope that everything's okay in her life because like even if you're not a fan of her, you got to realize she's a person too. Celebrities are people too. You got to just kind of give people a break. And we've got to do something about Nickelodeon like this. We can't like they should shut down. If you can, boycott that new SpongeBob movie. Let people know. Oh wait, I forgot to mention one thing before I go. Another thing is that Ice Spice, a music artist who does not make music for kids, kids should not know who she is. They Why is she in a SpongeBob movie? What were they doing? Why is she in a kids movie? Promoting a kids movie? And why is the lyrics SpongeBob big guy pants okay? What? What's going on? Like it's just a little weird. It's it's a little too sexual for SpongeBob. They never and yes, SpongeBob is not entirely intended for kids either, and I'm aware that as an adult SpongeBob fan myself, I'm aware that most of the fans are adults who grew up with it as kids, but we can't acknowledge, like, we can't forget that there are still kids who exist and still watch the show as well. We can acknowledge the adult fans, which are the majority of the SpongeBob fans, but remember that there's still kids out there, and there always will be. And this is the problem with, like, this kind of thing. They can't just focus on the adults and forget about the kids. They gotta find a way to be family friendly for both. Bluey found a way to do it. Why can't SpongeBob? Anyways, I hope you all listen to my point in this video and have a change of heart if you disagree, or disagree at first. Anyone who's an iCarly fan, just get off my channel. Just, in fact, just and if you don't, just listen how disgusting Dan Schneider shows were. But even if you're not, like, and you don't realize how disgusting and disturbing Nickelodeon used to be and still is to this day, just take my word for it and do your own research before you ever think about letting your future kids watch any of this crap. My kids will watch SpongeBob, but they will not watch modern SpongeBob. They will watch seasons 1, 2, maybe 3. They will not watch whatever they're doing right now with SpongeBob. And they will not ever watch any show made by Dan Schneider. Ever. Ever. Anyways, comment your opinions, and if my video made you have a little bit of a different opinion on this whole SpongeBob sexualization thing.